ठाकुर दयार सागर एदासे करुणा कोरी करुणा को दिया पादा छाया शोध है आमाया दिया पादा छाया शोध है आमाया तुम्हार करण दूरी छाया वेग दोमी छाया दोष शोधी छाया गुण देहो दासे छाया शोधी छाया गुण देहो दासे छाया सत्संग देखो है हमारे छाया बोशेची संगीर आचे बोशेची संगीर आचे एकाकी आमार नहीं पाया बल हरि नाम संकीर्तनी एकाकी आमार नहीं पाया बल हरि नाम तुम्हें कृपा कोरी श्रद्धा बिंदु दिया देह कृष्ण नाम दाने तुम्हें कृपा कोरी श्रद्धा बिंदु दिया देह कृष्ण नाम दाने कृष्ण से तुम्हार कृष्ण दीते पारो तुम्हारा शक्ति आचे कृष्ण से तुम्हार कृष्ण दीते पारो तुम्हारा शक्ति आचे हमें तो कंगाल कृष्ण कृष्ण बोले हमें तो कंगाल कृष्ण कृष्ण बोले लाई तव पाछे पाछे लाई तव हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. वैष्णव ठाकुर जय वैष्णव ठाकुर आचार्य ठाकुर जय आचार्य ठाकुर प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा प्रभुपदा तिल प्रभुपादा पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. Let us take one verse from Bhagavad Gita. This is 5.22 Bhagavad Gita. You all can see the verse now? ये हि संस्पर्शजा भोगा दुःखयो नययेव ते आद्यन्तवन्तः कौन्तेय न तेषु रमते बुधः। ये those he certainly samsparshajaha by contact with the material senses, bhogaha enjoyments, dukkha distress, yonayaha sources of, eva certainly, te they are, adi beginning, anta end, vantaha subject to, kaunteya O son of Kunti, na never, teshu in those, ramate takes delight, buddha intelligent person. Please read the translation and purport, one of you. Who has the mic with you? Mic with you?
Hare Krishna. And an intelligent person does not take part in the sources of misery, which are due to contact with the material senses. O son of Kunti, such pleasures have a beginning and an end. And so the wise man does not delight in them. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. What is Krishna saying? An intelligent person does not take part in the sources of misery. He's saying, where does the misery arise from? By the contact of the senses with the sense objects, he said. And such pleasures have a beginning and end. That means there is some pleasure, but it is very short-lived pleasure. Intelligent people don't delight in that, he said. So this is explained in another place. I will show you. Please all of you repeat this verse. 18.38. Vishayendriya samyogat yattadagre amritopamam pariname vishamiva tatsukham rajasamsmritam. Here's the translation.
Hare Krishna. That happiness which is derived from the contact of the senses with their objects and which appears like a nectar at first but poison at the end is said to be of the nature of passion.
Very similar verse, right? Contact of the senses and sense objects. The result is, he says, it's like nectar in the beginning, poison at the end. Please read the purport.
Hare Krishna. A young man and a young woman meet, and the senses drive the young man to see her, to touch her, and to have sexual intercourse. In the beginning, this may be very pleasing to the senses, but at the end, or after some time, it becomes just like poison. They are separated, or there is divorce. There is lamentation, there is sorrow, etc. Such happiness is always in the mode of passion. Happiness derived from a combination of the senses and the sense object is always a cause of distress and should be avoided by all means.
So he says when the senses and sense objects come together, there is some sense of pleasure which is very short lived, he says, and it quickly vanishes, leaving behind a big truckload of suffering. The end result, he says. So, therefore, one should avoid that, he says. So the previous verse, let us see what he says here. Let's repeat this one. Yattadagre vishamiva pariname amritopamam tat sukham satvikam proktam atma buddhi prasadajam. Translation.
Hare Krishna. That which in the beginning may be just like poison, but at the end is just like nectar, and which awakens one to self-realization is said to be happiness in the mode of goodness.
Yeah. For example, you are running in the road, suddenly you fall on the ground and you hurt your knee, and it's wounded. So the doctor applies some tincture. You know tincture? As soon as he keeps tincture, how you feel? It's burning. But then within a few seconds, it starts becoming very cooling. How many of you experienced that? Correct? Yeah. So initially it's like poison, but eventually it is good for you. Correct? No? Eventually it is very healthy for you. Similarly, sometimes when you take khichdi, the prasadam is very simple. It may not be very appealing to the tongue. Simple khichdi you feel. Tongue wants something like pakoda, bhaji, pada pav, the mirchi bhaji, all the tongue wants. But if you eat simple, then your health is also good, your mind is cheerful, and motion is smooth next day. Isn't it? On the other hand, you put mirchi bhaji or chatpata, pav bhaji, or chili powder, you put in the tongue, tears are coming from the eyes, and the mouth and throat are burning also. After going to belly, that is also burning. Tomorrow when you're coming out, that is also back also burning. 3 times burning. Going in burning, stomach burning, back burning. But that is Rajasic food. So it gives a little thrill in the beginning when you put that in the mouth, but eventually it causes suffering. Like how many of you have eaten maida samosa? You eaten? Yeah. Samosa is very crispy and very tasty and attractive. But once it goes into belly, it doesn't come out easily. Because maida goes and sticks like Fevicol. Isn't it? So if you ask anybody, whether you like maida or gehun or wheat, wheat or maida, most people prefer which one? Maida is crispy. Wheat is simple. But wheat is easy to. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Yeah. So in this world, many things that are active and tasty are not good for the health. Things which are simple, maybe not so attractive for us taste, but they are healthy. Doctor said, eat salads or eat mung sprout. One devotee was asking, am I a horse to eat all this? I like pastries and pizza and pasta, Manchurian and all that. So, yeah, then his body is expanding in all four directions. I guess, right? Isn't it? So, in this world, what is good for us is not very, eagerly accepted. What is bad for us is accepted. That's why Krishna is saying. So, in the next was example, Prabhupada directly gives example of a boy-girl attraction instead of giving any simple example. Huh? He's very honest, Acharya, straightforward. Like, nah, directly, because this is the peak in the Kali Yuga, man-woman attraction. He's saying that, yes, you find it attractive, yes, attractive, go and get kicks, he says. So Krishna says, Nateshu Ramate, otherwise Gadha. Either you are Buddha or Gadha gets kicks. Papa says a donkey is running behind a she donkey and gets a kick on the face. And he's thinking, how nicely she's kicking from legs. He's thinking. So that's what Prabhupada is giving that example. Man is chasing after woman, but his consciousness like donkey-like consciousness. So intelligent people, they know this pleasure is going on. This pleasure is attractive in the beginning, but it turns into poison subsequently. He says. Some boys have realized it also by experience. Some have seen it by experience. Some have realized it personally after having got into all these relationships and getting kicks. They're totally realized now. Realized souls. They have long beards. Realized. And there are others who are not realized by experiencing, but realized by observing others. They have seen their friends get into all these things and getting into complication. See, the Vedic life means a boy, girl are allowed to choose a partner, but they are not allowed to freely mix. Like Devhuti, was the boy fixed by the parents or she fixed? She chose. She chose and told to mother. Mother told to father, and then, which means even, like, the Sanskrit word Swayamvara. What is the meaning of Swayamvara? That means the girl was allowed to choose a boy, but not to freely mix with the boy. Because free mixing causes illicit connections and it spoils everything. Then it is like animal life, donkey life, or cat life, dog life. So then people change partners. Parents say, no, 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 the boy is different caste, you are different caste, we cannot go. All relatives will ask so many questions. Then they go marry her to another boy and he gets married to another girl. What kind of life is this? So therefore, Prabhupada is giving that example openly in the next verse. So it's like nectar in the beginning, poison at the end. When one sees from a distance, it looks very attractive. Therefore, woman should be treated like a mother, except one's own wife. You treat them respectfully, then they are peaceful, you are peaceful. Everybody is peaceful. But if one has a free mixing, then everything is spoiled. Purity is spoiled, sanctity is spoiled, illicit connections, and everybody is burning. So let us go back to that purport of that first verse. You read the purport?
Yes. Hare Krishna. Material sense pleasures are due to the contact of material senses, which are all temporary, because the body itself is temporary. A liberated soul, a liberated soul,
No, listen.
working project. A liberated soul is not interested in anything which is temporary. Knowing well the joys of transcendental pleasures, how can a liberated soul agree to enjoy false pleasure?
Yeah, see, in this world, we all have a very strong urge and feeling of attraction, which is an undeniable fact. I was in Calcutta in the Newtown temple. So they took me to serve something to the cows there. So I took some hay to serve the cows. And cows looked at me from a distance and they turned their face away and went away. Well, they get hay every now and then. Everybody comes and feeds hay. They weren't attracted. Then I served gudugola, gudugola is actually round, good, sweet. A big competition among cows. They were all pushing one another, the kamka they were giving. And so I could see how much they feel attraction. Prabhupada says similarly, if you put some sugar, this is which floor is it? Is it fifth or Fourth floor, here you put some sugar, from the ground, ants will come here. They have that, sense to sense it. Easily they'll find out. That means they are madly attracted to sugar. You will see that. Sweet. They're strongly attracted. So this attraction principle is very strong in every living being in this world. Yeah. All the living entities are attracted to by the tongue, by the eyes, by the nose, by the ears, by the skin. The attractions are very strong in this world. So, but human being is the only creature on earth who can stand outside himself and watch what are these attractions that I am feeling, which are sane, which are insane, and what will be the consequence of these attractions. Human being can think, look before he leaps. Animals act by instinct. So I'll just show you. Recently, I prepared for one topic. Chopati, I had to give prerana recently. I prepared one nice topic. I'll show you a part of it. I'll show you. See here, read that.
Hare Krishna. I like to play all day,
Correct, now children like to play like this, isn't it? Yeah.
but mom like to see me steady all day. TV watching makes me cool. When exams come, I realize I am fool.
Isn't it? So the left side thing shows your instinctive behavior, correct? Things which you like to do. But the right side thing shows, reality of life, correct?
Snooze alarm and sleep in bed warm. Get up to study. My friend, it's time to learn.
We need some friend to wake us up like this, isn't it? Very rare to get such a good friend. Because friends are also sleeping, we also may be sleeping. Isn't it? So the left side is also pleasure. Right side is also pleasure. But left side is tamasika pleasure. Right side is sattvic. Getting up. Correct. Huh? Like sleeping under the carpet is very enjoyable. Under the bed. But then when you get up, take a bath, wear tilak and come in front of the Lord and chant, that is also another type of happiness, higher happiness.
Sleeping all day on sofa and catching extra sleep. I go early to bed and I rise early to shine.
See, those who go early to bed, they can get up like this quickly, see? Like this, you can get up. But those who sleep late, they will be like the left side fellow. Daytime here, sometimes sofa, sometimes chair, sometimes company table. When you go late. Yeah.
Does smartphone serve our purpose or smartphone swallows your time?
This is a good question to people nowadays. Correct? Yeah.
Say no to smartphone. Entertainment during exam. Helpless victim to smartphone.
How many phones is having?
2.
Three. Yeah, one more is there. So even after 3 phones, he's still, in tension. Having so many phone calls. So this is the topic I'd given. Easy choices, hard choices. And simple. How many is this? Who is this fellow, passionate penny lover? Actually, he was a bakery shop owner who made he made like 20 lakhs every year. He was getting a lot of money by cheating. How he was cheating? He was selling fungus bread just by brushing it and selling it. But another fellow was the devotee baker. He was getting only 5 lakh per year. Because whenever he would see fungus, he would throw it in the dustbin. He would not sell it. But within 3-4 months, what happened? This shop of fungus wala shop, all the customers who were eating, some of them got food poisoning. And then they were admitted in hospital. 1 or 2 of them died also. And the police came and sealed the shop. That was the end of his success. So short-term success may be big, but it is short-lived. But all the customers of this shop, they went to the devotee bakery shop, where that fellow was thoroughly honest. Honesty may bring less profit, but it will go on and on forever. Correct, no? So that's why you don't go by instinctive choices that mind suggests you. Go for thoughtful choices. Huh? See, this fellow, this rat thought that it was open, so it came to eat pakoda, but got caught inside. When it was looking at the pakoda, what do you think the rat thought? Some fool has kept it hanging. But the fool didn't keep it hanging. He's the fool. He went inside, now he can't come out now. So you will see that in the same manner, many people nowadays think irresponsibly they are connecting with anybody. Like Prabhupada is saying here, like a girl belongs to her father, and next to father, she belongs to her brother. If father has passed away. And then when she is given in marriage to a man, she belongs to the husband. Later on, if husband takes sannyas, she belongs to her son. She's always protected by somebody. Hmm. But if a boy just goes and connects with anybody for pleasure, then he becomes like this. Yeah. He became a victim now. Huh? He's being dragged by somebody. You see? That's what Prabhupada is saying in that purport, 18.38. Hmm? Of course, this is talking about we and me. Duryodhana is thinking in terms of me. Yudhishthira is thinking in terms of we. See, Yudhishthira's point was, why should we fight like dogs for a piece of flesh? Crazy. Let us not fight for the land. Let us divide and enjoy. That was Yudhishthira. And Duryodhana said, let me wipe out the Pandavas and enjoy alone. So he goes by his instinctive push of the mind just to enjoy life. Whereas Yudhishthira Maharaj is going by what is dharma, what should be done. So you can see Yudhishthira Maharaj never was captivated by any titillation of the mind or senses. Very, very thoroughly honest and aligned with the Lord. So we have to learn to train our mind to think like Yudhishthira and not think like Duryodhan. So we have to go from Duryodhan mindset to Yudhishthira mindset. Duryodhan thinks of instinctive pleasures. See, Ravana means Rajas. He prayed to Brahma that give me a kingdom, I can rule over all the people. Nobody should be able to kill me. And except the human and animal, he asked for everybody else. Nobody else should be able to kill me. Nobody should kill me. I should rule on and on forever. And then I should be very, very powerful. I should be able to subdue everybody. That kind of thing he asked. Yeah. Kumbhakarna, he represents Tamaguna. Actually, Kumbhakarna's goal was to wipe out the Devatas completely. So he wanted Nirdevatvam. But then all the Devatas were trembling. If he prays for this boon, we all will be wiped out. So they prayed to Saraswati, please twist his tongue in such a way that our lives will be saved. So instead of Nirdevatvam, he asked for Nidratvam. So then Brahma said, Tadastu. So 6 months he will sleep. One day he'll get up again. 6 more months he'll sleep. Like that. So he represents the Tamaguna. And Vibhishan, he asked Brahma that, my dear sir, in this world, when life takes us through turmoils, we oftentimes take shortcuts and we walk the wrong path many times. So he said, in all walks of my life, let me always walk the righteous path. That's what he prayed. Therefore, even though his brother rejected him, took away the palace, kicked him and threw him out of the palace, still he walked the right path. He went to Lord Ramachandra and took shelter. So, all these three brothers. Here you see Ravana had a moral dilemma to steal another man's wife or not. So he walked the path of immorality. Kumbhakarna had an ethical dilemma. He knew that his brother is wrong, but he thought, after all, brother is a brother, his blood brother. I should cooperate with him. So he made an ethical blunder because he thought duty to brother is greater than duty to God, he thought. So he made ethical blunder. And Vibhishan, he had no confusion. He understood duty to God and citizens is far superior to duty to sinful brother. So he walked the right path. So he's Sattva-guna. So Rajaguna Ravana, Tamaguna Kumbhakarna, Sattva-guna Vibhishan. So we have to follow whose path? Vibhishan, yeah. By making the right choices. So Vibhishan didn't make instinctive choice. All of you think for a moment, in a taraju, in a balance you can keep on one side, Vibhishan is having a big palace. He's having a big post as one of the chief ministers of Ravana, and respectable, position and wealth and prosperity. Generally, for someone to give up such a position will not be easy, correct? No? Now, if he's going to cross his brother, oppose his brother, he'll be thrown out of the post and he'll be driven out. He knew that. Still, he spoke the truth. Huh? He never hesitated. And other ministers were nodding their head for Ravana because they knew that if you don't nod the head, you will be out of the post. They were all nodding their head. So, mm, so making the correct choices in our life becomes easy when we follow the path of acharyas and scriptures. Reading the books given by acharyas, it becomes easy for us to get the compass in life, how to make decisions in our life. Now let us go to this one. Please read it.
Hare Krishna. Think and answer. What is the impetus for you to go for the self-control? When the whole world is saying, eat, drink, and be merry, life is all about fun. What makes you to make it a conscious choice in your life to lead a life of self-control?
Yeah. Anybody can answer this? Because, you may also think that we are in the modern day world, everybody is doing nonsense. So you also do. Why should I stand apart from the society, flow with the wind? Isn't it? People think like that. So why should you at all practice self-control? Anybody? You give the mic to him. Yeah.
So by observing the world around us, we see that those people who are into like eat, drink, and be merry, they are not successful materially also and not spiritually also. They are also suffering from depression and all. And by reading Bhagavad Gita and our acharyas, they are also just like you mentioned that Bhagavad Gita says us that this kind of happiness is in Raja and Tamaguna, which is like Amrita in the beginning, but later it is poison.
Very good. Beautiful. Give an applause for him. So he has given two answers. One answer he gave us that we also can observe the world around us, that people who indulge instinctively, the long run, they are not happy. I once made a research on this and I found they get 5 sufferings. You know that? As soon as somebody want to go for a sinful life, say meat eating, gambling, intoxication, illicit sex, if somebody want to do this, first thing they need is spending money because cigarette doesn't come free, liquor doesn't come free, prostitution doesn't come free. They need money first. A lot of money they spend on this. Expenditure increases. Secondly, after indulging in sinful activity, they get suffering. Like cigarette smoking causes lung cancer. Go to naturally, that is suffering. It causes pain in the body. Drugs, later on, they leave severe pain in the body. There was an American boy who came to Pune. Looked like a young boy. He said he was 24. He looked like a 15 or 16-year-old boy. So he stayed for a week in Pune, just wanted to see the temple. So he said that between his 10 and 20 years of age, he had taken a lot of drugs, because of which now the drugs reaction is coming now. All his body has red spots, different parts of the body. He would cry like anything. 1 week only we saw him. Then he went back to US. But he just, he said he found out Prabhupada books at the age of 20. Last 3-4 years, he's traveling around India to learn the culture more. But he said, now I can't take the drugs out of my body now. They're already gone and become a part of my system. And they are throwing out reactions now. Severely paining. He says, I have difficulty sleeping. I have difficulty. So in this way, you will find that sinful activities, first of all, cost money. Secondly, they lead to suffering. Like a person who drinks liquor gets liver cirrhosis. Person doing illicit connections, he has some sexually transmitted diseases. Somebody chewing tobacco gets ulcers. Everybody. You name a sinful activity, it has to produce a concomitant suffering also. Nature is designed by the Lord like that. It's designed in such a way that you do wrong thing, you get suffering. And you do right thing, you get positive benefit also. Like this one,
of specific mantras out loud. A clinical test of the benefits of mantra chanting was performed on 3 groups of 62 subjects, males and females of average age 25. They chanted the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra 25 minutes each day under strict clinical supervision. Results showed that regular chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra reduces stress and depression and helps reduce bad habits and addictions. These results formed a PhD thesis at Florida State University.
So you can see practical results show that, doing such activities like chanting, what all he says, chanting can help you to get rid of stress, addictions, and then bad habits and depression. All that is gone. So it's a proven result. You chant, you get these benefits. You do pranayam, you have a healthy body. You eat a vegetarian food as opposed to meat, you have a lot of benefit. That means the nature is designed by the Lord in such a way that you do the right thing, you get good results. You do wrong thing, you get suffering. So first is you spend money for the sin, then you get suffering. Thirdly, doctor's bill. Because when you get suffering, you have to go to doctor. And then he'll give you pills, injection, go to different, then you get bad. And fourth one, anybody knows? Police. All the sinful activities are associated with, for example, somebody is drinking and driving a car. What happens? Yeah, there'll be accident, police will come. Somebody is getting into indulging illicit, then police will come. You will see somebody is drug peddling, police will come. And then the fifth one will come after death, Yamadutas. That's the fifth one. So these are the 5 fruits of sinful life. You can tell any of your friends. You remember that? What is the first one? And second? Third? Fourth? Fifth? Yeah. So this can be impetus for one to avoid sinful activities. Correct, no? And then another reason he said was Acharyas and Krishna, they all have spoken that this is like, it gives a thrill in the beginning, but then subsequently gives a lot of suffering. Correct, no? It gives a kind of kick in the beginning, which is elation. But then the suffering is not, later on we realize it's not worth it to go for this. Yeah. Yeah, Mike. The mic.
We see that the devotees who are there, who are actually practicing self-control, how much they are successful materially also, and how much they are blissful. Like we see the devotees who are practicing in the morning, how much they are jolly, and after morning program, and at the end of the day, how much they are energetic and active in respect to the other people.
Of course, that is true, but not all devotees are jolly in the morning. Because the devotees also have their material side. Material attractions are still not gone. To that degree, they find getting up in the morning very difficult, taking bath and coming, chanting is another great difficulty. How am I going to complete my rounds? It's a very big hassle. And their relatives, family members, friends, society is always tong, 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 tong. They keep stinging them. Everybody is telling them make more money, go abroad and flourish in material life, enough of spiritual life. One parent told their boy that, better, we will do your chanting, you go to America. So they get discouragement. It's not that devotees don't suffer, but my understanding is if devotees are suffering also, it's worth the suffering. I'll tell you one reason why. Say, for example, if you have viral fever, if you're given bitter tablets, is it worthy to eat bitter tablets or not? Because it's going to cure your disease. So there's nothing wrong in taking that. Similarly, that's what Krishna is saying. In the beginning, it's like poison. But eventually it will become nectar. Like if somebody has a jaundice, sugarcane juice is bitter in the beginning. But you continue taking sugarcane juice, and the result will be, eventually it will become sweet. Does it become sweet or it's always sweet? But earlier we had a jaundice. When jaundice goes away, then the sweetness is experienced. Similarly, the morning program is ecstatic program. But we are not ecstatic, we are static. So we find it difficult. So we find it little difficult. We are unable to catch up with that. But it's only a matter of time. very soon you will find the drops of bliss coming. If one is persisting in the morning program for years together, they continue, then they experience the bliss. What you said is correct. Experience joy and bliss. That's true. So what he was telling was about, because the Lord and Acharyas are saying that passionate pleasures have a beginning and end. And sattvic pleasures have a little difficult in the beginning, but subsequently great, eternal benefits are awaiting us. Based on their instruction, we should strictly adhere to their instruction, knowing that it is going to do good for me with very full confidence. Whether I get bliss or not immediately, that should not be the consideration. The consideration is, this is the right thing to do, therefore I will do it. This is actually Satoguna. Satoguna means this is the right thing, right path to walk. I will do this. So, like one boy was asking me, Prabhu, when we have the company interviews, all boys are copying. So can I also copy? Yeah. Then I asked him, what? Are there 200, jobs and there are only 100 boys? Imagine in a college, there are only 100 boys available for interview and 200 jobs are available. Then even if everybody copies, also no problem. Company may take all of them. Is it like that? I asked him. He said, no. The limited jobs, he said. Then I asked, if you copy, if teacher looks at you, will they ask you anything or no? Oh, no. If they catch me, I'm gone. Then what does that mean? It's a malpractice. I said, you cannot do this. He said, no, Prabhu. Other boys, if they copy and they get job, then what? I said, see, they are not devotees. You are a devotee. You walk the right path. They will get punishment for the wrong act. So what happened some years ago during the COVID time, lot of boys got their answers done by some tuition teachers, and they got 92, 95%. Those boys who have never touched first class, even they got 95, like that. So now when the company interviewers came, they are not fools. They also saw many boys have crossed 90. So they understood that it's very risky to employ anybody, based on their grades, because they got, nowadays ChatGPT also gives you answers. It can make articles for you. Now PPT also it can make and give you. Nobody will know whether ChatGPT made or you made. It makes it so nicely. So company people, what they did, they conducted an interview. They didn't give importance to marks. They conducted the interview. And the interview, they checked whether the boy has common sense. Of course, somebody got 92 marks, but no common sense, they rejected. Somebody got 92 marks, but had common sense, they accepted. But the employment, they told him, you have to join after 10 months, not now. So, in those, similarly, the other boys who got 60, 65%, good boys, righteous boys, they also got placed there. And they gave them job based on their performance in the interview. So, in those 10 months, the company had asked many, many different questions to them, given them tasks to see how they are performing. And then based on their assessment, finally they took people whom they were confident that they're competent. Many companies did that. And so all these cheaters, they got more pushed outside. They couldn't get. Although they got 92, but they were not chosen. They can't claim that I got 92, you have to give me a job. They can't say that. So in the long run, cheating will not, help you. You have to pay the price and follow the process. Just like the example is given of a plant. If you sow the seed, you cannot get the mango immediately. It takes time. You have to water the plant, fence the plant, manure the plant, everything, give sunlight. It takes time. Similarly, right things may involve time, patience, tolerance, and it's the right thing to do. The chanting of the holy name, attending the classes, following the four related principles. Self-control, life of self-control is good. In the long run, it will give you enormous benefits. My friend Gaurang Prabhu used to say, for a devotee, the post-retirement benefits are enormous. He said in one class, I asked, when is that retirement? He said, death is the retirement. Post-death benefits. He said, they are enormous. So, what is that enormous? He asked. He said, eternal. He said, Amritam. Krishna says, he says, Sarve pete yajna vido yajna kshapita kalmashaha yajna shishta amrita bujo yanti brahma sanatanam. You will head towards the spiritual world. And amrita bujo, the results are all amritam. Amrita means imperishable results you get. And some of which you can experience in this life. And then the rest of it definitely will experience in future life. Krishna has promised it. So one should walk the right path of self-control by. So Prabhupada says there are 4 types of people in this world. Some hear and they learn immediately. They learn and understand. So there were 4 boys who studied in Gurukula. And then after they passed out, they're going through a forest. 3 of them were very proud fellows. One of them was a sane fellow. So the first fellow said, hey, look at these bones of an animal lying all in pieces. You know, from my learning, I know how to assemble these bones, he said. Second boy said, what is so great about assembling it? I know how to, make a muscle and flesh around it. I have the ability. And the fourth boy said, hey, wait a minute, guys, don't be so fast. And then he climbed over the tree. And then the third fellow said, I know to invite the soul back into the body. So as soon as he did that, guess what must have happened? The tiger came to life. And now the tiger was hungry. So it chased after these 3 fellows and ate them up. But after eating the 3 fellows, tiger it was full. Stomach was full. Now the fourth man came down from the tree and tiger didn't do anything because tiger is already satisfied. Yeah. And he could walk back. So what is so special about this fourth boy? The teacher had warned during his training that one should not use one's knowledge for self-aggrandizement, which means for boastfully one should not use this knowledge to boast about one's talent or knowledge. So one should not misuse it for useless purposes. And the knowledge should be rightly used. Like, one scientist can create a bomb and kill people. Another scientist can create a life-saving drug like a penicillin or something. So both are scientists. One is benefiting the society, another one is destroying the society. So Guru had told that Sarve Janaha Sukhino Bhavantu, you should do something beneficial. Don't do anything to show off your knowledge. So the fourth fellow had heard it well. He saw that the first 3 boys are proud and they are just showing off. So he immediately got up the tree intelligently. Because when you are not proud, you can see the consequences. When you are proud, you become blinded. You cannot see the consequences because you are thinking only about yourself. You are not thinking about others. So these 3 fellows were thinking about themselves. Very boastfully. Everybody was thinking, I will show off, I will show off. So the first step, if you want to become enlightened in self-control is amanitvam. 13.8 Krishna says, humility. Amanitvam, madambitvam, mahimsa, kshantirardivam, acharyopasanam, shaucham, stairyam, atma vinigraha, indriyarteshu, vairagyam, manahankaram, janma mrityu jara vyadi dukkha doshana darshanam, saktirana vishwanga putradara grihadishu, nityam cha samachittatvam ishtanishtopapatishu, mayi cha ananya yogena bhaktirabhya vicharini, vivikta desha sevitvam martirjana samsadi, adhyatma jnana nityatvam tattva jnanartha darshanam, etad jnanamiti proktam ajnanam jadatonyatha. This, he says, that these 20 items are there. You can read it 13.8 to 12. But 2 items of these 20 are very important. Acharya Pasanam and Mayi Chananya Yogena Bhakti Ravi Vicharani. These 2 are very, very important. Bhakti Yoga for Krishna and Acharya Pasanam to Prabhupada or Acharya. These 2, if you do well, all other items will come. Then you will be able to see the consequences of your actions. You will become a thoughtful devotee, thinking devotee. Most of us suffer in our life because we are not sufficiently thinking. Many times, see, Sattva Guna means think and act. Raja Guna means act and regret. And Tama Guna means neither think nor act. So which one you want to be? No? Think and act. You have to be Sattva Guna. So I'll tell you a couple of examples. Once a man boarded his horse and went to forest just for a excursion, picnic. And his dog also ran along with the horse. And he went around doing trekking and taking bath in waterfalls. And then he ate his lunch, sat under a tree, lied down for some time. And then he got up. When he was leaving, somehow the dog was barking a lot. He was wondering why my dog is so crazy today. When he was trying to walk like this in the horse, the dog would go like this. It would not allow him to go. So he was wondering, maybe my dog has gone berserk. So he took his gun, shot the dog, and then he went ahead. After a few miles, when he galloped in the horse, suddenly he checked his wallet was missing. Huh? Then he took a U-turn and came back. And sure enough, under the same tree, the same wallet was there, and all the money was intact, safe. But then he saw the dog was lying near the wallet, touching the wallet with a bleeding mouth. Hmm? So after picking up the wallet, he tried to sprinkle water on the dog and tried to revive the dog. Can he revive? It was too late. So it was a passionate decision he had made, a snap decision. So he suffered for that snap. Now he cried loudly, "Oh my dog, I want to bring you back to life, but I cannot. I made a mistake." He was telling, because the dog had stopped him for what? Yeah, he wanted to indicate to him that you are foolishly leaving the wallet behind and going ahead. Pick up the wallet, the dog wanted to say, but he couldn't speak to him. But he didn't understand the intent of the dog, you see. So many times in our life also, we all don't understand the good intention of others when they give us feedback or when they correct us, when they say don't do. Like many times parents tell the children, don't go here, don't go there, don't do this. Like many times the parents are worried about sons getting into smoking, drinking, drugs, correct now? They're very worried. In the same manner, parents tell the daughters that don't connect with any boy, later on you will regret. Properly get married. But nowadays people don't listen. People just indulge. Instinctively they indulge, and then they attract the consequences, bad consequences later, and then they regret. Hmm? Because if we walk the wrong path, and the consequences are definitely going to come. You can't run away from it. You do a blunder, and then you don't expect the consequence to come. It will come eventually. I'll tell you an opposite story, another story. Once when Newton had gone for a stroll, walk in the evening to the park, when he came back, he was like shell shocked. All the heap of research papers which he had done for last 20 years, he had kept, which was burned down by his dog's foolish act, because the dog had toppled the candle. And all the research papers got burned down, and Newton loudly cried because I did so much hard work in doing research and writing all this. And then looked at his dog and said, "Tommy, you are so foolish. You know, you may not know what you have done. Such a great harm." And then he said, "Even if I shoot you, I'm not going to get the papers back. So what's the point? You are just foolish." And he forgave the dog. So what is this guna? Sataguna, because he's thoughtful. He's thoughtfully, he decided he didn't exhibit his anger on the dog foolishly. Of course, if somebody else was there, he would have shot the dog and then said, "Anyway, I can't get my papers back." Isn't it? Which he didn't do. So in our life, you can see there are two types of pressure that all of young boys you will experience. One is the pressure of anger. Another one is the lust. These two are very strong. The provocation, two provocations. One is the lust for opposite sex, and anger arising from insult. Somebody insults you. Therefore, Krishna is talking about it in 2.56 to 2.72. Arjuna was asking question. Sthita prajnasya ka bhasha samadhistasya keshava siddhi kim prabhasheta kim asita prajeta kim. How does a self-realized soul behave? What is his language? How does he sit? How does he walk? How does he talk? So he asked these questions. So what is the meaning of this? Sthita prajnasya ka bhasha. What are the symptoms of a self-realized person? And how is he situated in this world where there are so many sense objects all around? Is he not allured by them? How does he walk? Means, does he stay in seclusion in Himalayas? Or he walks in this world in the midst of all the sense objects without getting allured by them? What does he do? How does he manage? Because we generally see that common living entities are subjected to Maya very easily. They're slapped away Maya very easily. How does a self-realized person live in this world? So it's a good questions. So Krishna says, Dukkeshu anudignamana sukeshu vigataspraha vitaraga bhaya krodha siddhir munirichyate. These are the symptoms. He says that in misery and in pleasure and pain, he keeps equipoised. Like Drama was told, you will be king tomorrow. The next day was told, you have to go to forest tomorrow. 14 years. And there was no difference in his facial appearance. completely balanced. Absolutely no lamentation. Not that I'm going to be king, you jump up and down like a monkey. And then you go to forest. Oh, you shout. No. Yeah. Like generally, many youths in India have done that. When Indian cricket match won, they were actually putting Sachin in the place of Arjun. And Krishna is driving the chariot, and Sachin is not holding a bow and arrow, he's having a cricket bat. Huh? They made a cutout. You saw that? Big cutout. And amazingly, Sachin is inside the chariot with a cricket bat. They made that and put lighting and everything. All over India, they were celebrating. Next year, India lost the match with Pakistan. Guess what they did? They made all the effigies of the cricketers and they burnt it. Huh? Same people whom they were adoring, and now they are burning down their bodies. You can see that. This is precisely what Krishna is saying a self-realized man will not do. you know, he is not elated or in joy, and he is not having a psychosomatic depression and sorrow. And the reason is given why he doesn't do this. Because in this world, everything is temporary. Like there was a king who told on my happy birthday, whoever gives me the best gift, I'm going to give them a very big lump sum, some 10 lakh rupees or 20 lakh rupees gift. Many, many people brought gifts to the king, hoping that they will get some prize from the king. So one fellow brought one small ring, probably it may be maybe 2,000, 3,000 rupees ring. But when the king selected all the different objects, he saw them. For this ring, he gave the first prize. And the ministers were surprised. Such a small ring he gave. Why are you giving the first prize? Because in that ring was a very amazing message. This too shall pass away. It was written. So what is the meaning of this? When you are getting some first rank or happiness, you should immediately look at the ring. This too shall pass away. That means you may not be always first rank. Maybe next time you may be third rank. So don't be too much proud. Don't be too much proud. Be cool. Or in case you wrote a competitive exam, you failed. Again, look at the ring. This too shall pass away. Not that every time you will fail. One time you fail, next time you may crack it. So because the things in this world are not going to be there always. Like you got any of you here, you got ulcer? The mouth? Yeah. You have experience right now. It comes like a round one. Initially, even before it comes out, it gives an indication that I'm going to come. Correct now? Paining, and then it opens out. Once it opens out, severe pain when you're eating food, it pains. Many people go and look in the mirror, take out and poor I am, look at me. It doesn't go away very easily. It takes time, 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And then it will give you, the pain goes from average to peak. At one point of time, the round one becomes very reddish also. Reddish. You will feel like crying. And then afterwards it will become flat. And the color will fade gradually. And then it will slowly vanish. This is all reaction of our own past sins. It comes and goes. But when it comes, what we should do, instead of too much meditating on the ulcer, you can meditate on other important things. Chant holy name and read books, hear songs. Divert your attention away from it rather than too much worrying. So, because the good news for you is what? This too shall, it will go away after some time. So, therefore, he says things are temporary in this world. And also, sometimes your mind may feel envy for somebody who is very rich, going in big cars, living in a big bungalow. He may be of your age group only. Such a young boy, and I am not as lavish and as rich as him. People feel envy when they compare themselves with others. But again, this too shall. Like for us, everybody comes in this world with empty hands, naked body, and they leave the world with naked body. Correct, no? It is said the child who is newly born and the old man who is leaving the world, both their clothes don't have a pocket, it is said. Child doesn't have a pocket. Why? Because it doesn't bring any money. And an old man's coffin, they put a cloth. Does he have any pocket? Because he doesn't carry any money. So why lament? He also dies like that, you also die like that only. So neither of us are carrying anything. Why lament? So Krishna says that a person whose mind is self-controlled does not rejoice or lament unnecessarily. Don't divert your attention to this. Put your attention on the eternal. What is eternal? Spiritual world is eternal. Atma is eternal. Loving relationship between God and Jiva, that is eternal. So a devotee invests time energy, attention, focus on spiritual relationship building. One should take out time for that. And then you will become more and more mature to face the reversals of life in this world around you. So, uh, one important thing in that choice making, I forgot to show you one picture in that. Very, very important one. See here, if you make easy decision in the beginning, later on you feel depression, self-hatred, anxiety. If you make hard decisions in the beginning, later on your life will be easy. I'll tell you a simple example. How many of you students here? Okay, half of you. Okay. Now let us assume that you have a summer vacation starting from say May, June. In May, June only you get the next semester books. And you start flipping through the pages, trying to understand what the subject is. Um, Maybe half the book you have gone through it before the college started. And then when the teacher starts teaching, will it be easy for you or not? So one time you have gone through the book, another time teacher is teaching it. Then you come to room and every day study 2 hours every day evening. Just 2 to 3 hours max. You study. Then even before the end of the semester, all subjects are revised for you. Is it not true? That is called as making a hard choice. Why I am calling it a hard choice? Because most boys will not do that. They will say, "Arey, abhi kya kuch exam hi nahi hai." Correct, no? Arey, exam is after 6 months, Prabhu. Why to waste time with the books now? Chalo, abhi ghumte hain. They'll go for roaming around. So they want to go for easy choice. And those boys go for easy choice. They have never seen the book. They go to the classroom, teacher is teaching, and evening also they are moving around. They are not reading. So next day when teacher keeps on teaching more, the class, it doesn't make any sense to them. It's all going above the head. Sometimes teacher is teaching, boys are making some picture, doing their own thing. So that means the summer vacation is wasted, classroom time is wasted, and then when the last part of the semester comes, they will be going and xeroxing notes of other friends. Even if you want to copy in the exam, you need to know what to copy also. That also they don't know. So if you make an easy choice in the beginning, later life is going to be hard or easy? Hard. If you make hard choices in the beginning, life will be easy. So I've shown a picture here. See here. Anybody can decode, explain this? You can see there are two fellows. The success flag is in the top. Anybody understood this? Anybody? You give it him behind.
So initially there was a choice for him to climb a uphill kind of steep and easy to go downwards with the gravity.
Correct.
And he chose the easy decision to go down with simple thing,
Yeah.
and he then landed with not able to climb only.
Yeah.
And
He
the
got
first-
stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the other fellow?
The other fellow decided, ki, okay, I will climb the hill, and then there was a very straight path at the end, so it
Yeah.
was very easy to reach.
Yeah. Give an applause to Maribon. So, you see, for example, if any of you make a plan weeks in advance in anything you do, then you also can delegate some of the work to other friends also. Like say, organizing a program. Say you think about it 2 months in advance. Then you can write down what are the list of services. And you can also check any other boy can help me with this. Correct, no? Prabhuji, can you arrange the mic system? Can you arrange this? That you can call the. They will ask you, when do you want my help? You'll say after 2 months. They will say, oh, after 2 months, no problem. You have given me adequate time. Imagine you didn't plan anything. The day before the event, you are listing down what all to be done. And then you catch a boy, Prabhuji, can you help me? When? You say, tomorrow. Tomorrow I don't have time. Correct, no? Then the whole load of the service will come on one person. So therefore, intelligence means plan ahead of time. Correct, no? But planning ahead of time requires some intelligence, because you know that there are 2 months time available, but still I am taking out the time now, which is necessary now, because if I plan now, then support I get will be more. So your ability to decide for the future comes in quadrant 2, which is not urgent, but important. Say, for example, anybody here is leading the kitchen here? Kitchen idea. So, the kitchen head knows, for example, if gas cylinder is getting over. um, so, he is going and telling the person, Prabhuji, the cylinder will only go for 3 days. Says, and that person says, 3 days are that, Prabhuji, no problem. And then 2 more days. And the next day, some examination came. Suddenly, he forgot. The cook is cooking. Half the sabji is cooked. And then gas is over. Then he tells, Prabhuji, gas khatam ho gaya abhi. Big tension for everybody. Nobody eats any prasad and big problem. So it became preventive maintenance, became breakdown maintenance. Similarly, if you don't now look at this fan now, see if you have to stop this fan, there are two ways. Put one tall stool, and try to catch the moving fan. That's one of the ways. Another one is find out where the switch is and switch it off. Which one will be easy? And that switch is called as the regulator. Huh? Regulation. Regulation is more easy than directly controlling the mind. Our mind is like this. Our mind is super active. You cannot control the mind. But mind can be easily controlled by regulation. Huh? You all know the famous verse, Yukta Ahara, Vihara se Yukta Cheshta se Sarva, Karmasu, Yukta Swapnava Bodha se Yoga Bhavati Dukha. That is regulation. 4 activities Krishna is saying. Eating, sleeping, work, and recreation. In these 4 things, if you have regulation, then he says that you can very easily control your mind. Mind will become very peaceful. So, see the regulated life. So I'm going to show you these 4 things now. You can check how much are you regulated. You can check it yourself. See, morning when you are all chanting Hare Krishna, what does the chanting do? It destroys the material desires and gives determination and awakens sleeping soul. Chanting does 3 things. Please all of you repeat. Destroys material desires, gives determination, and awakens sleeping soul. So, in the mind, there are material desire seeds, kama karma bijas. So it destroys them. And then intelligence, it gives willpower and determination. And for the soul, it wakes up the sleeping soul. And not chanting, what does it do? It causes spiritual weakness and it makes you get deviated to material ambitions. Therefore, one should try to chant nicely in the morning. Secondly, if you follow regulative principles, what does it do? You lose your desire for sinful habits. See, what is the difference between giving up sinful habits and losing desire for sinful habits? Is it the same or different? Different. You all understand it? Which is more valuable? Yeah, because sometimes, like doctor has told you that you are having diabetes, so you cannot eat sweet. So that fellow gave up sweet. Do you think, giving up sweet is giving up externally, but his longing for the sweet is still there. Whereas imagine if somebody loses the taste for it. Like how many of you were eating meat before now you gave it up completely? Correct, yeah. How many of you will never touch meat in your life till your last breath? You're sure? Very good, yeah. So that is the example. Dhruva Maharaj came with a material desire. After meeting Lord Vishnu, he gave it up. Correct, no? Like that. You lose your desire for sinful habits. That leads to firm conviction and bhav for Krishna. And studying Prabhupada books by discussing subject minutely, inspecting from various angles and savoring new understandings. What is the result of that? If you see, not only you should study the Prabhupada books, but you also should do seva also. Study gives you knowledge. Seva will digest that knowledge. Like you all have eaten prasad now. How do you digest? By doing some seva. Correct. Now wash the pots. Go and distribute books. You chant and dance and Harinam Sangeet and then you digest. In the same manner, as food is digested by bodily activity, the Prabhupada book study, the knowledge is digested by devotional service. And then the knowledge and bliss both you get. And you become convinced. And then you become successful. Finally, the hearing. Hearing is like eating and drinking. Eating grains and drinking water. If ordinary man, Kaviraj Goswami says this, Krishna Kaviraj Goswami, if ordinary man does not eat, he grows weak and dies. Similarly, unless we hear the Shastra and explain it to our friends, Simply reading Shastra is not enough. You have to talk about it. How many of you speak to your friends about Krishna consciousness? You preach, yeah. So then your knowledge becomes expanded. It's like one lamp with which you can lit up 1,000 lamps. Huh? 1,000 lamps. And your lamp will not diminish by that. Mhm. Similarly, you can enlighten many people. So hearing and explaining leads to assimilation of philosophy. Assimilation means you can digest the philosophy nicely. So these are 4 activities given here: chanting, following regs, 4 regs, studying Prabhupada books and hearing lectures. Huh? And what are the subsequent benefits you get? These are the first and foremost regulations. Then we come to the other one, which I told you: eating, sleeping, working, and recreation. So, but these activities are spiritual activities. They're very vital. Huh? So, this is the verse I told you. Read this translation. Who has the mic with you?
Hare Krishna. He who is regulated in his habits of eating, sleeping, recreation, and work can mitigate all material pains by practicing the yoga system.
Yeah, how we will see here. See, what activities regulate? Eating, sleeping, recreation, and work. Read it.
Extravagance in the matter of eating, sleeping, defending, and matting, which are demands of the body, can block advancement in the practice of yoga. To mitigate all material pains,
Pains. Want to regulate the eating first. That means in eating, what all you take? Read it.
as far as eating is concerned, it can be regulated only when one is practiced to take and accept prasadam.
All of your devotees, you are already taking prasad made of vegetables, flowers, fruits, and everything. Huh? That is all right. And it is offered to Krishna also. So naturally, it is sanctified also. Huh? But I think most important challenge for us is regulation in eating, I think. Huh? We tend to overeat. Krishna says in Gita, Natyashnatastu yogosti nachaikantam anashnatah. Overeating is bad, he says. Undereating is also bad. Huh? But undereating problem is less, I have seen. Huh? Right now. But rarely somebody is not eating enough. Generally, people fall on the side of overeating, yeah. Hmm. So one should be careful about that. Yeah.
Most of the health problems in the current time are due to irregulation in eating and sleeping habits.
Yeah. Nowadays, people eat at different times. Sometimes they're 2 timer, sometimes 3 time they take. Huh? Sometimes any time of the day, sometimes very bad it is. Huh? Night 11 o'clock they're eating. So actually there should be fixed time. How many of you eat at fixed time of the day? Very good. There are about 10, 12 devotees. Yeah. I heard Prabhupada was very strict about, strictly he would stick to that timing. Actually, your stomach also will feel hungry if you stick to the timing. You know this Pavlov's experiment, you know that? One scientist. He says the dog was given food every day at 10 o'clock. So at the 10 o'clock, there will be salivation in his tongue. Huh? So you will feel hunger if you take every day at the same time. Like I take between 10 and 4, 2 times I take. So exactly at 10, I don't have to look at the watch. If I'm hungry means it must be 10. Same way. One day I felt hungry. I looked at the clock, it was 4. Correct? Huh? Exactly, 10 and 4. So under your body will be very healthy also if you stick to this. Sleeping habit also similarly. And I sleep at 8:30, get up at 2:30. Or sleep at 9, get up at 3. Huh? And if you sleep 6 hours between 9 to 3, 18 hours you can work. How many of you would like to have 18 hours for you? But you would sleep at 9. Correct, no? Sleep at 9 because 9 to 3 sleep is very effective. And you can work all day without lying down daytime. Yeah. Plight of modern eating habits. Read it. Irregularity.
Irregularity, party culture, fast food, fast to cook, slow to digest. Chemicals everywhere. Results: hospitals increasing exponentially, lifespan reduction.
All this is.
Take only Krishna Prasad. Food in the 3 modes. Effects on body and consciousness. 3 components of food.
Yeah, this already told you. Actually, the bakery items, bun, bread, all this, pastries, many of the things, junk food we call it. These are all tamoguni foods. For example, eating freshly made chapati offered to Krishna and eating cookies, which is also made of wheat, it's not the same. Because cookies are made and kept in the bottle for weeks together. Correct, now? On the other hand, when you make chapati, cook, offer it fresh. Prasad should be eaten hot and on time and fresh. See the top one, that is actually fresh food. Offered to Krishna. So that kind of thing one should eat. And one should eat mildly. If you want to have a calm mind, you have to eat a mild food. If you eat chatpata food, mind also chatpata. Mind also is agitated and hyperactive. So, bodily.
Bodily clock depends on the sun's movement. Quantity: breakfast medium, lunch heavy, dinner light, and at that fixed time.
Yeah. Actually, many of us know all these things. Knowing is not a big thing. What is difficult?
Following a practice.
Yeah. Here, Prabhupada is saying a Krishna conscious person is always alert in doing his duties and unnecessarily doesn't sleep, he says. And then he's saying that sleeping should be kept to minimum. At least one can sleep about 6 hours a day, Prabhupada writes. But Goswami slept only 2 hours, 3 hours only, he says. Of course, we cannot imitate them. It's not possible. And they were chanting 3 lakh names and all. But the idea is one should not oversleep. That's the point. Yeah, you all know this. Early to bed and early to rise. Read that.
All birds sleep with sunset and rise with the sun. Most animals and birds do not eat after sunset. Only those in the mode of ignorance do so. Fox, mosquitoes, owl.
And humans also who do that. They had to include it. Those who eat after sunset, 10 o'clock, 10:30, 11 o'clock and all. And also those who keep awake at night. Those creatures keep awake. Otherwise, sleep with the sun, wake up with the sun. If you sleep too much, you become lazy. If you sleep too less, you become crazy, Prabhupada said. Why crazy? If you sleep only 4 hours or 4.5 hours daytime, you become irritated and angry with everybody around. Because the brain is heated up. If you sleep too much, you become lazy. Yeah.
Plight of modern sleeping habits. Irregularity.
Like 3 shifts, correct, no? Yeah.
Night out culture. Activity begins at night. Morning time wasted. MNC culture. Don't know which is day and night.
Biological clock is crazy. Because he is in different shifts now. Yeah, you know the 3 gunas. Early morning is in sattva, daytime passion, night and ignorance. So ignorance time should be used for sleeping. And morning time, you all have seen the videos and all, how rising early in the morning is very beneficial. Yeah. Actually, early morning when you get up, immediately after thinking, you can give time for creative thoughts and innovative ideas and how to make your life better, materially, spiritually, both ways. Morning time is very good for planning. And daytime between like 10 to 3 or 10 to 4 is very good for working, acting. And then evening time, night time is very good for taking rest. Eventually. According to the gunas, you flow with the nature. Yeah, you all know this. According to Ayurveda, one should sleep when sun sleeps and awake when the sun is awake. If you do this, you will never get sick, he says. And then Brahma Muhurta. Yeah. This already we had a session in Spurti elaborately on this. Your efficiency increases, health also gets better and everything. Okay. And work. Read that.
As far as work is concerned, a Krishna conscious person does not do anything which is not connected with Krishna's interest, and thus his work is always regulated and is untainted by sense gratification.
Now somebody may say, I'm working in an IT company. How is it connected to Krishna? So a person who is working in a company, it's not that in company you are body and when you come to temple you are soul. You are always a soul only. Correct? Na? So in the company also you should think, okay, there are so many living entities working in this company, and all the jivas are tatastha jivas, which means they are open-minded. If I give them some invitation for some forthcoming festival, Janmashtami or Radhashtami or Gita Jayanti or something, they may come. You should always be on lookout of jivas who can connect to Krishna. give them some pamphlets, give them some Prabhupada's book, take some prasad for them, invite them to temple on Sundays. Huh? So if you are making an effort to propagate Krishna consciousness in your own circle, you all have three circles with you. One is the wherever you're living, people living around you in your residence. Then there are people in your company, colleagues in your company. Then there are your blood relatives in different parts of the country. So you make a list of these people and try to give them Krishna consciousness. So you can do that by WhatsApp messages or sending them some nice materials and things like that. And also you're earning money in the company, spending a part of the money in Krishna service, in propagating Krishna consciousness. So that means your money becomes yajna. And also doing work in such a way that you save money and not, lavishly squander the wealth. Those boys who are saving money, by the time you become 50, you don't have to slog like a donkey till 70. By 50, you have saved enough, and then you can start your own freelance company, something which you can do based on your experience in the previous years. Like recently, one of the devotees is 43 now, 43 or 44 now. So his company told him to mutually go for an agreement and quit the company. Because nowadays company layoff also, no? They, instead of saying layoff, they say very decently. Early retirement. They say, we'll give you some lump sum, you can quit. But this devotee, a smart devotee, he already has saved sufficiently. What he told me, one interesting phenomenon he told. When you are joining a company, as a fresher, whatever X amount of money you get, that is the money you should spend as long as you are unmarried. Which means 21 you start earning. 28 you get married. So 21 to 28 you should only spend money with how much money you can spend? As a fresher, whatever money the company gave you. That much only you should spend per month. How many of you understand this? That much only you should spend. And after marriage, he said, whatever money you earn within the first 5 years of money, that means after 5 years of progress in your company, whatever salary you get, that should be the money you should spend between 28 to 45. You should not spend beyond that. So he strictly followed this. And now he says that I have earned enough. In fact, I don't have to do another job. And I have sufficient money now, he says. Yes, I got a house. He's got saving, a very good saving. He has a couple of children, husband, wife. A very happy family. But he says, I'm yet going to do a job till 50, I'm going to do. Another 6-7 years I'll work, and after that I'll just take off. Because he's a saving man. He's not a wasting man. Correct, no? So those devotees who are saving also with the intention of making the retirement very Krishna conscious. That means even while working in the company, you are still Krishna conscious because you are already planning for a future, Krishna conscious career more. Isn't it? One should save money and not waste money. Preach to the colleagues in the company, and also find out whether my boss can be invited to temple, make him a devotee also. Many people have done that. And also, if you behave well, the company may take some more Hare Krishnas into the company. Like one devotee was such a wonderful devotee. The boss told him that, I think anybody who has Kantimala, they're good people. So he asked him, can you get 4 more boys with Kantimala like you? So he gave 4 jobs in his company. So all this you can do in work, actually. You can connect to Krishna. Yeah, here. What is plight of modern work?
Plight of modern working habits. Working for 14 hours, 16 hours per day. Mumbai Pune daily shuttles, Mumbai locals overcrowded, MNC shift culture, no time for family members or God. Connected to sin directly or indirectly.
Yeah. There are many jobs nowadays involve sinful things. In every business, one has to be very watchful. Somebody was told to write a program for slaughterhouses, computer program for cutting. Let's write a program for that. Similarly, like one of our congregation devotee girls, she got got a machine design in design field. So she was asking a brilliant question. She said that in when you work for Facebook and such companies, many times, you have to make advertisements to appeal to the mass of people, and you go for lower appeal. Correct, no? Many advertisements are sex appeal and things like that. In designing, that means you design to tune to the lower nature of the conditioned souls and drag them. Is it not sin? Good question, now. So, another devotee, the devotee has done LLB and LLM. Huh? After that, when the devotee went to the court, so much lies there. So, lawyer has become a liar. Huh? So, then what to do? The devotee was crying, now I don't know why did I come to this profession. I just casually suggested, why don't you become a teacher instead of practicing as a lawyer? Immediately switched out to teaching now. He's very happy now. Because teaching is more Brahminical. You just tell the truth, what is in the book. You know, you don't have to lie on behalf of anybody. So you have to be smart in your own field to, like there is one devotee now working in a company where they are testing the chemical cosmetics and all on the eyes of rats and rabbits. Hmm. And he is at the top and he has to get these experiments done. So he feels very great pain that oh, now I have become a devotee. I don't want to see them suffer. Huh? The animals suffer. So now I told him to find out what other ways you can work in the company. Now he has figured out another way. He doesn't have to work in this. There are tests which are conducted on humans and which don't torture the humans, but which are tested on human bodies. So now he has moved to that field now. So which means all of you have to be very attentive on what type of work am I doing in the company? Is it harmful to other living entities? Is it breaking the four regulative principles? Is it sinful? Mm. Yeah. Like once one cinema actress, she gave different poses which came in the internet and through which she earned a lot of money. And she said that I'm going to give this money for, AIDS patients, cure, they're finding some medicine. So Chaitanya Charan Prabhu wrote one article. He said, on one hand, you are giving different poses to earn money to help the AIDS patient, but you're creating more AIDS patients. Either you know, isn't it? So people don't know how their activities are connected to sin, correct, no? Hmm. Directly or indirectly. That way, these kind of things are all. So she was telling, actually, I am posting all these things for the service to my fans. What kind of service is that? Sorry, horrible service. Huh? So this is exploiting service. Huh? So therefore, the work we have to check whether is it in line or not. Read that.
Plight of modern working habits, driven by stress, envy, deadliness.
Deadlines.
Deadline, sorry.
See, all of you all are becoming devotees. As the years progress, at least at some point of time, you want to practice spiritual life very seriously, correct, no? You have a desire to practice seriously. So, you have to find out how you can, in the 13th chapter of the Gita, Lord Krishna says that every jiva is put in a certain type of field. Like a barber spends his whole life in the salon, looking at the heads of so many people, different thick hair, soft hair, different lotions, different soaps, different, what do you call this? The knife and this thing. That's all he sees within his whole life is on that. Similarly, a computer engineer, all life is in the screen only, all the time. So, Krishna says in the Gita that the 5 gross elements, 3 subtle elements, 5 jnanendriyas, 5 karmendriyas, he says, and then the tanmatras, which are the sense objects, and the pradhan. Put together, all these things put together is called as field, he says. So every farmer is given a field by the king, and the farmer can either sow neem fruits or he can sow mango seeds. Tomorrow you are going to eat mangoes or you are going to eat neem fruits, depending on what you are going to sow. So every one of you have your body and mind as the field now. So you have to, you can also modify your field in this very life. For example, I'll tell you an example. Ajamila modified his field. Earlier he was a terrible sinner. Later on he became very virtuous and spiritual. In the very same life, he changed his field. Mrigari, he was a serial killer of so many animals and birds. Later on he went on to become cruel Mrigari became compassionate Mrigari. Correct, no? So he changed his field of activities completely. Ratnakar was a highway robber, and he went on to become Valmiki. Correct, no? So, which means in one lifetime itself, people have changed their mind and body activities. Similarly, all of you, when you're working, when you're young, you're working hard, life is very stressful, deadlines. At the same time, you're also building your Shastric knowledge. Hmm. Try to identify your job and activities where you will be able to have a good balance between your spiritual and material. No? I came to know that some company culture itself is cool culture. Like in Pune, there is a Tata consultancies. So that company culture itself is very cool culture. Like morning, bus comes at 8:30 it comes. And evening by 6 o'clock, people are back at home. One of my relative was working. 8:30 you leave in the morning, and evening 6 you are back. Which means going and coming itself takes one hour. That means 9:30 you start the work and 5 o'clock work is over. How much time it is? 7. Yeah, just 8 hours. Very cool, cool job. Hmm. Prabhupada says 8 to 9 hours is a very good job, Prabhupada says. If you are working 8 to 9 hours. Anybody here is having such a luxurious job for 8 to 9 hours? Very good. See how there are a good number of boys. Amazing. There are about 15 people. Amazing. I pray that it remains so. Huh? He's telling me to pray for those who don't have that type of schedule. How many of you work maximum 10 hours a day in the company work? 10 hours. Anybody? Up to 10 hours. Okay. How many of you work between 10 to 12 hours? Between 10 and 12. Okay. Okay. Anybody works 12 to 14 hours? Anybody? They're shy at, I think, the left hand. Anybody 14 to 16 hours here? No. What hours? Compulsory now. But 4-day week, I think. 4-day week. Actually, our Prime Minister, I said, he suggested make it 14 hours per day, but only 4 days per week because he wants the boys and girls to go to their villages for 3 days. So he wants to increase the rural culture, which is also good. If they make it 14 hours per day for 4 days and 3 days off they give, then one can go to the native place and all. That is his plan is that increase the activities in the villages more as India was before. I think many are not agreeing to that. Many say 2 days enough for us. Still the talk is going on about that. Yeah. And then?
Money, even at the cost of health and character.
Yeah. Somebody is working 16 hours a day. Suddenly he gets a massive heart attack, admitted in hospital. And when he gets his heart repaired and comes home, already wife, children have gone to their parents' place. There's no one. So he is a failure in health front and also in, family front. So it can happen like this. Yeah.
No loyalty.
Yeah. And the workplace nowadays, because of lack of loyalty, a lot of layoffs also and hire and fire. And also people want to make quick money nowadays by cheating. That is causing a lot of complications. Okay, how do you regulate the work?
Should have time for God and family members. Scriptures recommended 8 hours of work per day. Should not be sinful. Offer the fruits in the service of the God. Do work under the guidance of spiritual master.
Yeah. These are very simple ways we can regulate your life. Huh? Now have a balance. Morning for Krishna, daytime for profession, evening for family. Huh? So divide your day like a tripod. Huh? See, if you are giving time for family and profession, then devotees will catch you. Prabhu, you don't seem to be coming to temple nowadays. Huh? What is happening, Prabhu? Then if you are giving time to temple and time to profession, then family members will be very upset. Huh? They will say that all the time with the Krishna, Krishna, Rama, Govinda, you are always, you're behind God, you are neglecting us, they will say. Huh? Or if you are giving time to family and Krishna consciousness, company will give you a pink slip and show the door. Huh? They will say, hey, you are not doing good work, put him in bench and remove him. So that's why all the three are like a tripod. I told you, one leg you break, what happens? Others will fall. So all the three are important. Yeah. So why we say time for God in the morning? Because morning time is very good to harness the powers of the mind. Purify the mind and calm the mind in the morning hours. Then both your daytime profession and evening family time will be well spent. If you reverse it, one man said, why not give time for family in the morning? Then morning is going to kitchen and quarreling with wife. The early morning, is it good? Early morning should be used for chanting. Huh? Chanting, reading, hearing, arti, everything.
Prudin, last slide,
Hmm.
you mentioned money, money. There was a last slide saying health and character. So character part is like, can you just brief?
Yeah, character means for the sake of money, people are ready to cheat and get quick money, more money by improper means. Correct, no? Like nowadays, what people do, they give money to some organization and the organization gives a receipt and they show it to company and they make more money. Many cheating, basically money making people cheat. Right now. So this is about work. Recreation, did it?
Since there is no question of sense gratification, there is no material leisure for a person in Krishna consciousness.
Yeah. So one staff reporter asked Prabhupada, she's asking, Swamiji, yeah.
What do you devotees do for recreation?
Prabhupada said, what do you think I'm doing now? Prabhupada said, all day morning to night. Our life is recreation only. Prabhupada asked, is there anybody in the world who gets up early in the morning starts dancing? Only in ISKCON you will see. Early morning jumping up and down. Most people are sleeping till 8 o'clock. In ISKCON, we dance, we sing, we take ecstatic prasad, we go outdoor for Sankirtan. We also do welfare work for the people, schools, colleges, homes, everything. Prabhupada said, every moment is recreation, Prabhupada said. Yeah.
Plight of modern day recreation. Video games promoting violence, hyperactivity.
Yeah, nowadays very dangerous video games are coming, like shooting the commandos. So these kind of things are very dangerous because actually it's foolishness. What is become commandos? Even police, if you shoot, the whole country's police is against you. Commandos are the topmost power in the country. So they show all kinds of crazy things in the video games. I heard from some of the congregation devotees, there are certain games, a couple of games names I heard, Blue Whale and one Grand Theft Auto. These kind of games are addictive in nature like drugs. Once you get into it, you cannot come out. You go on playing like that. So these recreations are harmful recreations.
Movies promoting lust, anger, and greed.
Yeah. Actually, in those days, when we were young, the movies also taught some morals also. If you see movie, how to take care of mother and father, how to be a responsible family man, how to do something for the nation, and how to do something good for society. These things came in movies. Even the songs were very meaningful in our school days. But nowadays, my Lord, even nowadays, people are so fed up with cinema songs, they don't hear modern songs. They want to hear the old ones now. Correct, na? Meaning simply, that's what he's saying, promoting anger and, yeah.
TV bombarding useless information, harmful emotions.
Yeah.
Intoxicants, drugs degrade youth to the level of insanity.
Yeah. So these are all increasing now in the name of recreation. These are all very dangerous recreations.
Internet distractions and social addiction addictions.
Yeah. So these are so-called recreations. They are not recreation. They are actually harmful. It actually leads towards destruction, mass destruction. So Chaitanya wrote an article on distraction and destruction. Today's distractions are very destructive in nature, actually. Fortunately, all of you are saved from all these things, provided you strictly avoid these things, because they are very harmful. Most youngsters don't know that they are harmful. They are just indulging and suffering because they have not read Bhagavad Gita 18.38. I showed you. They are like nectar in the beginning, poison at the end. Okay, how to regulate?
According to scriptures, walking, doing yoga asanas, swimming, kabaddi, wrestling, devotional music, dancing and chanting, sharing and caring for one another, exchanging loving relationships, learning to do most of one's work oneself and not trouble others much, etc.
Yeah. That means that God has given you hands and legs. Wash your own clothes, clean your own room, keep your room clean, and uh, depend less on others. It's called self-reliance. Learn to be self-reliant. That way, that also gives one enthusiasm when one does activities. Similarly, these are some of the activities in the Vedic times people would do, uh, like kabaddi, for example, or wrestling. These are physical activities. You are not just sitting and watching TV for 6 hours, like a couch potato, you are doing activity. And the devotional activities like chanting, dancing, they're all meaningfully done for the pleasure of the Lord. So many uh, positive, healthy diversions we have, instead of degrading activities. Yeah.
These are the recreation activities that boost up one's physical health, mental peace, strength, and vigor.
Mm. Yeah.
Conclusion. If one is stuck in the modes of passion and ignorance, one cannot make swift progress in Krishna consciousness. However, by regulating the activities of eating, sleeping, work, and recreation, one can gradually come to the platform of goodness, which is a suitable platform to progress further in Krishna
I gave you
consciousness.
the example. This regulation is like a switch. Huh? Switching off the fan is more easy than trying to stop a rotating fan. Mind is very difficult to control. But if you do these four activities properly, in a regulated way, then you will see that the mind can be brought easily under control because there's a reason for this. I will give you one homework verse you can read. I'll just show you the verse. It's there in the Bhagavatam. I can repeat it. Tatra kirtayato vipra viparisher bhuri tejasah aham chadyamam tatra nivistastat anugrahat soham vashravayishyami yatadhitam yathamati. This is spoken by Suta Goswami. He is saying, Tatra, in that place, Kirtayato Vipratra. There was one great Brahman, who was speaking the Bhagavatam, whose name is Shukadeva Goswami. Bhuri Tejasaka. He was very, very brilliant and effulgent and very influential. Aham Chadigamam Tatra. When he was speaking Bhagavatam, I was also sitting. Actually, that Bhagavatam was spoken to Parikshit. Thousands of sages were sitting. I also got to sit there, like the Suta Goswami says. But I had only one qualification with me. What is it? Nivishtastat anugrahat. I was paying a rapt attention to the katha. And soham vashravayishyami. Whatever I heard from him, I will repeat it to Shaunakadi Rishis now. He's telling. Yatadhitam yatamati. As long as my intelligence goes, as much as I can explain, my realization goes. So in this purport, there is one very important section. Here Prabhupada says here. I read this one.
One should hear with rapt attention from the real person, and then he can at once realize the presence of Lord Krishna in every page. The secret of knowing the Bhagavatam is mentioned here. No one can give rapt attention who is not pure in mind. No one can be pure in mind who is not pure in action. No one can be pure in action who is not pure in eating, sleeping, fearing, and matting.
Yeah. See, very nice secret Prabhupada is given here. See, who is pure in eating? You should eat only Krishna Prasad and nothing else outside. And one who also eats not for the taste buds, but one who eats in a regulated way, also Krishna Prasad. I told you, correct, no? And one who doesn't eat randomly any time of the day. You should eat well before the sleep. If you're going to sleep at 9:30, you should finish eating by 6:37 latest. So that is pure in eating habit. That means the food is cooked by devotee, offered with love, and then eaten by devotees. Sleeping similarly, early to bed and early to rise. Already we told you. Keep the same timing. Stick to the timing. Sleep early, rise early. And also sleeping is for what? To get the toxins out of the body and then keep an energetic body so that all day we can nicely work and serve. And fearing means defending. Unnecessarily don't injure other living entities. But if somebody is troubling you, you can defend yourself. But don't offend anybody. That is our Pandavas culture. Pandavas will never attack Kauravas, but if Kauravas are troubling them, they will defend. So one should know, because nowadays unnecessarily people are making small problems into big problems by quarrels. Don't be quarrelsome. Don't unnecessarily fight. Don't go on an ego trip. People going on an ego trip. Hey, kya bola mere bare mein? Like that, people go on an ego trip, making small things into big things. So unnecessarily don't create quarrels and fight and group forming and all that. And mating is a sex life. One is allowed to marry and beget children and live as a peaceful grihastha. But before marriage or outside marriage, one should not have any relationship, extramarital relationship or pre-marital. That is, both are condemned as sinful life. And also, mating includes impurity in mating means porn watching, and also watching blue films, and or connecting with opposite sex just for sake of flirting, or hanging around like dogs hang around like that. So these things are not allowed. So if you avoid unnecessary connection, marriage is allowed, but other than marriage, one should deal with all women like mother. So if you keep purity in these four activities, then you can become pure in action. When you're pure in action, then you can be pure in mind. If mind is pure, what is the advantage? With rapt attention. And if you hear the japa and Bhagavatam with rapt attention, the result is you become very quickly purified. You advance in your spiritual life. Leaps and bounds, light years you can advance very fastly. So that secret Prabhupada mentioned here. See what he says? But somehow,
But somehow or other, if someone hears with rapt attention from the right person, at the very beginning, one can assuredly see Lord Shri Krishna in person in the pages of the Bhagavatam.
amazing, isn't it? Yeah, Prabhupada says. So let us take some questions now. So here I showed you this one. Yeah, correct. Okay, let me take some questions now. We become late, otherwise we discussed many things. You all remember everything? What did I begin with today? Just quickly, somebody can, because we should not forget what we did. Uh, Nateshu Ramate Buddha, otherwise. So then I went to the 18th chapter, 37, 38 verses. Anybody can tell me what you remember there? What we discussed? 18th chapter, 2 verses in Rajas and Sattva. I told you. I was telling about how the passionate pleasures are, very enjoyable in the beginning, but they lead to poison. And the Sattva is opposite. And I gave examples also, correct? No?
So when we get a wound, then we
When you get a wound and put tincture, I was giving example. What else you remember after that? Yeah? Remember, right?
action will be there.
Attraction principle is there in this world, yeah. Originally, attraction is towards Lord Krishna, but that attraction is forgotten. So we have alternative attractions in this world, which are temporary attraction. And then Krishna says this is the beginning and an end. So it's temporary. So don't chase after it, because these pleasures will not last long. Like chewing gum will not last long. Initially its flavor is good, smell is good, taste is good, but within a few minutes it is gone. So I gave you one story I told you, remember? Yeah, king got a ring. This too shall. So, yeah. So happiness or distress in this world will pass away. Body is temporary. Our life in this body is temporary. Remember that. So keeping that in mind, don't become attached to the petty, temporary, fleeting pleasures, he says. So those who are intelligent, what do they focus on? They focus on what is permanent. So what is permanent? Krishna is permanent. Soul is permanent. Loving relationship between Lord and the soul is permanent. So focus on that. Because once you get that, you attain Amritatvam. I told you what Gaurang Prabhu said. What he said? Yeah, post-death benefits are enormous for a devotee. Eternal. Isn't it? What is awaiting a devotee? Amritatvam. He will attain the immortality. Okay, and then? Five effects of sinful life. Yeah, and then? I was also telling you that sinful life versus pious life, if you take, good activities actually produce good results. Sinful activities produce these five bad results. Huh? So intelligent people can consider these things in the mind, contemplate on it, and realize, oh, sinful activities may be attractive in the beginning, but they are all leading to a lot of suffering. Let me get rid of them. Huh? Plus, acharyas are saying, Krishna is himself saying, so let me be obedient to their teachings. Correct, no? Then we can follow. And then? Four? What are the four boys? Correct. Yeah. So out of the four fellows, the last fellow had a special qualification. What was it? Ah, his guru had told that do not use the knowledge for your, don't be boastful, or don't use it for showing off your selfish pride or something like that. So use it beneficially to the world. Huh? So the fourth boy understood that these other three fellows are not rightly situated and they are going to invite a danger. So modern day education is like that. You get education and create havoc for the world. you know, like these three fellows did. Yeah. Yeah. Then we discovered Ravana, Kumbhakarna. So Ravana, which guna? Kumbhakarna and Vibhishan. Okay, very good. Huh? Yes. And then I told about three gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas. What are the characteristics? Anybody else? You can raise the hand. Who hasn't spoken? Yeah. You think and act in goodness. And then? Act and regret. And then tamaguna? Neither thinking nor acting. They are being slapped by the situations. Okay? There are about three gunas I said. And then? Huh? Yeah? I said two type of provocations in this world for a young boy. Lust and anger are very strong provocations. Yeah. Because we are ego driven. So if somebody insults us, hey, like that we become angry. So that is one provocation. Another provocation is lust, attraction for the opposite sex. So Haridhar Thakur conquered that lust provocation from opposite sex, isn't it? So you will see that great sages become victim of lust and anger, but great devotees easily cross over it. And then what I said? Huh? Don't take instinctive decisions. Animals go by instinct. Humans means what you can do? Think before you act. Look before you leap. Huh? Like you're walking on the road, looking at the sky and walking on the road, and then there's a manhole, it's open. Somebody opened the lid, you fall into it. And then you say, hey, where am I now? Full of gutter water, sticking very bad. That means, instead of looking before leap, you first fell in and then you start thinking. Correct? And instead, what you should do, don't be looking up, look around. If there is a manhole open, you have to go by the side. So that's why it is said, first vision, then action. Huh? First look, then you leap. That is said. Don't go for instinctive decisions. Who goes by instinct, I told you? Animals. Animals act by instinct. Humans can think. You all have the ability to think. So we have to think of what? Who can say? Yes. Who said that? Consequences. Give him an applause. Very good. We have to think of the consequences. Huh? In that connection, I told a couple of short stories I told you. Thinking of consequences before acting. In Rajas, people don't think of consequences. They act instinctively. In Sattva, they think of the consequences. Who can say? You answered. Who? Yeah? Yes. Yeah. That fellow shot his dog. Did he think or he didn't think? He didn't think. He shot and then regretted. Huh? Whereas, Newton. So he was thinking before acting. That is Sattva means thinking before acting. So all of you boys also, before you walk on any path, You think, am I walking the right path? What will be the consequences? Hmm? One should think, अगर मैं पढ़ाई नहीं करूंगा परीक्षा के लिए रिजल्ट क्या निकलेगा, पहले से सोचना चाहिए. Think from beginning itself. Huh? And then I told you about hard choices making in the beginning or soft choices. I mean, easy choices. So most of the world want to do which choice? Easy choice. They want life to be very easy going. Correct, no? And what is the problem with easy choices? Who can say? Nectar in the beginning, passionate then. Huh? Yeah. What example I gave? Anybody remembers? I think students will remember. Yeah. Huh? Climbing example, the picture I showed. But exams, yeah. Study for any academics. Huh? Very few people study in the summer vacation time. Very few. Very well. Ginasha, not many. Correct. Although ample of time people have. They don't know how to spend the time. Huh? But if somebody can take out time to study, it will be so good. Mm. Similarly, I have seen our voice preachers also sometimes, they have to go to voice to give a lecture. We have this game course lessons we have, isn't it? So another devotee is taking them in the bike, they're sitting behind and going through the lesson. Abhi kya bolna aaj? You are saying like that. Imagine if they're driving a car, how can they see? Correct, no? It will be difficult. Last minute preparation. One boy told me, Prabhuji, your device book is so good, Prabhu. Beautiful, he said. I said, hey, you have passed out. You know about device in first year, you never appreciated the book. Now you are appreciating. He said, Prabhuji, that time I never read. Now how are you reading now? He said, now they told me to give lecture now. That's what I'm reading now. So generally only when you have to preach people, then only they read, yeah. How many of you are famous for the pastime of doing things at last minute? Correct, no? You do before? Very good. So we do last minute many times. Hari bari. And we can't do the job well also. We do last minute. Mhm. When you are well prepared, things will come out in one way. When you're not prepared, it won't come out so well. Therefore, quadrant 2 means not urgent but important. So we should make easy choice in the beginning or hard choices? Hard choices. Hard choice means choices based on integrity, honesty, based on what is right. Even Einstein said that, all things that are right may not be popular, and all things that are popular may not be right. He says that. Whole world is flowing in the wrong direction many times, but you have to walk the right path by self-control. Anything else? Yeah. We can change the field of our activity. Although we are born in one field, we can change the field. Recently, I was speaking in Hyderabad about this topic, 13th chapter. I don't know any of you heard that. It is about Kshetra, Kshetrajna, Purusha, Prakriti, and Gneya and Jnana and Gneya. So there I was telling the story of one real life story of one devotee in Pune. Actually, our Harinam used to go. This fellow was living in a slum. The slum people used to cook. They were living in chal, lot of mosquitoes, gutter flowing, and dogs roaming around. Jopipati, that kind of place. So when Harinam would be going, the small kid was attracted. He would come and then he would walk with the Harinam for some distance. He would take the prasad, eat. Regularly, he will call his friends and come. They would come. Small boy, school going boy. But he said in slum, nobody studies beyond 5th standard because they don't have money also. He also studied only till 5th or 6th standard only. But he started coming to temple and took darshan of Radha and Damachandra. He fell in love with the beautiful deities and everything. And then he started regularly coming and taking food for life prasad, coming for darshan. And then some devotee caught him and taught him mala. He started chanting also. Amazingly, this boy, he never gave up his study. Again, he joined the school. He did up to some 10th standard or something. After that, because his family was very poverty stricken, he had 2 sisters also to get settled. So he went under one, this fellow, what is it? Pandal. Scaffolding, pandal making man. He worked as apprentice under him for about 4 or 5 years. He practiced. And he became a great expert. After that, he started his own pandal company. And now he has grown up in pandal company so much. Monthly he gets about 4 lakhs. He earns monthly now. Now he left the slum and they have come to Gagan Unnati, which is next to our NVCC, there are 3 buildings. I call them as Jagannath Bala Subhadra building. Huh? 3 buildings, So he has taken one of the houses in that place. The one house is like 2 CR or 3 CR. It's very costly. It is. Mm. He has taken a house there. His mother, sisters are living there. So materially he has improved. Now spiritually he came to 16 rounds. I started wearing dhoti kurta. Now he never wears pant shirt. Even in his business also, he's the boss only. He's the owner. So he can wear dhoti kurta, tilat, keeps little hair. He's married now. He has family also. And now he and his wife have become counselors in Pune now. Yeah. He become a counselor in Pune. So when I was interviewing him recently for the counselorship, that time he told me this story. He said, ISKCON really made my life, Prabhu, both materially and spiritually. So he has changed his field from a slum life to such a high standard life, both materially and spiritually also. Slum people are just playing cards, watching movies, fighting with one another. From that life, he has come to a very cultured devotee life. So much so now he's heading a group of 40, 50 counselees now. So which means each of us, we can restrain our senses and mind and uplift ourselves by a progressive march in Krishna consciousness. I can take one question, anybody? One question, say yes, take the mic. Yeah.
So much, Guruji. Both the sessions were very wonderful. Thank you so much for this association. Guruji, in the morning class, you started with the example that in the mountains, some obstacles comes, and then you have a fire, then you can burn it. And then again, when you took the example of Bhishmadev, you told that when milk is there, you can dilute it with the water, but when it is butter, you cannot dilute it.
Correct.
So, Guruji, in our life, like last 10 years has passed, we are doing the activities of reading, chanting, hearing. We are doing it. But how to make the sense of increasing in the quality and quantity at the same time? Because if we go ahead more years, how to make a quality efforts in every day? Even you are chanting for 2 hours, but how quality it should be, hearing in a quality. So whatever
Actually,
activity do
in every activity, for example, let us take chanting. If any of you is considering improving your quality, first thing I will tell you is purchase 5, 6 books like Nectar of the Holy Name, Art of Chanting, Hare Krishna, and that kind of books. Is all nice, great Mahatma Prabhu's seminars. You purchase the books and also download some lectures on the japa, So then take out time for that and read the book, underline, make some notes from that. Then your awareness, understanding increases. Like you read this Hari Bhakti Chintamani, conversation between Lord Chaitanya and Haridas Thakur. Very nice. It is. Similarly, there is one book by Bhaktivinoda Thakur called Divine Name. There is a book by Iswara Sajjana Maharaj called as Living Name. There is one is Living Name, one is Broken Name also. 2 books are there, yeah. So these books and Japa by our Burijan Prabhu. And I also have spoken a lot of Japa talks, short and big. So you have abundant materials available. So if you are really keen to improve chanting, one has to take out time to focus on that and then dwell on that more. Then the quality improvement will definitely come in chanting. How to, especially the Art of Chanting Hare Krishna book is a very good book. It brings you to the point of how to inoffensively chant the holy name. So many, many nice things are mentioned there. So I have read about 7 to 8 books like that before therefore Japataka I talk with great joy, because when I read those books and contemplated on the material in relation to Bhagavatam, there are many, many wonderful things will come up. Understand? Similarly, in book reading also, if you read Prabhupada books on your own, you may not get so much realization. So you have to read with the help of somebody who's very evolved. Whichever devotees you admire in your heart the most, this devotee's style of explaining Gita, Bhagavatam, CC is very wonderful. Like Damodar Prabhu is very expert in explaining CC. Chaitanya Charitamrita is very, very nicely explained. Similarly, Bhagavatam, there are many speakers. So one has to have some Maharajas, or sannyasis, or seniors, somebody with whom you are deeply inspired. Not just ordinary attraction will not do. There has to be special attraction. The special attraction comes from the bottom of the heart. It is not superficial. Sometimes you think, hey, Prabhuji, he will give a lot of nice inspirational points or some information. You go. That is not enough. When it is from the bottom of the heart, the person moves you and churns your heart. Those people's Bhagavatam sections that has spoken, sit with the book and then hear those lectures and then make notes then your understanding of the pastime has to be very, very deep. Because in Bhagavatam, the real ecstasy, where does it lie? When you read the Prabhupada purport, somebody takes the purport and fluffs it and explains it, plus along with Acharya's commentaries. Then deeper and deeper layers of realizations are explained. So somebody may say, I also know Sudama's pastime. Many people know it. But there are powerful, like for example, one example I'll tell you. He says, uh, Sudama was contemplating when his wife is telling him to go. He says, Smarataha pada kamalam atmanam apiyachati. She's telling, his wife is telling him, you see, your friend Krishna, what kind of amazing personality he is. If somebody simply remembers his lotus feet, he will give himself to him. Huh? What to speak of giving one mushti of diamonds from Dwaraka to you? Huh? He is such a personality. So you don't have to even ask him. You just go and stand in front of him, looking at your plate, he will give you. Like that she says. So similarly, when his wife is insisting him to go, you know, he is telling her, maybe Krishna may be out of station. She says, no, I have already found out he's in station only. Aste aduna, like that she's telling. I have already found out he's there only. Oh, now I cannot escape, he's thinking. My wife has found all the details now. Then he is thinking, you know, uh, I can go to get darshan of my Lord. For a long time I didn't get his darshan. My wife will be satisfied that I went. But I'll be satisfied that I got darshan. Huh? And I don't want to ask him for anything. I will not ask. With this idea, he goes. So, in this way, you will see the mindset of Sudama and his wife very closely. When you read Bhagavatam, the commentaries are very wonderful. So, we should not rush through this. We should not tell it like a story. Sometimes, what people do, they take an entire pastime and just tell it in one class, two classes. One should go verse by verse, purports, line by line, hear it with the help of some devotee. That then your mind will dwell on it. It will stick to your mind even after the book is closed. Book is closed, but the pastime is open in your head. Just like files are open in the computer. Like sometimes I keep it open and I close the computer. Later on, I open it opens because already it's open. It's not closed. Correct, no? So once your relish continues after the class is over, then only that kind of thing sticks to your mind and it produces ecstasy. Hmm. Then it will help in chanting also. And one is chanting the holy name, the nature of the Lord, His qualities, His behavior, His speech, His beauty, everything will flood the heart of a devotee. Hmm. When that is flooding the heart of a devotee, then the chanting will be a very joyful experience. You can be oblivious to the external environment and your bodily. I have a pain in the back, I have some problem, you bodily problem, mental problem, everything will forget. So I think the real thing is the quality of hearing and chanting and the way we relate with other devotees without committing offenses. Respectful and obedient dealing with devotees. So these are things which will improve the quality, surely. Yeah. So then Ekadashi can have good Ekadashi Prasad you can take. Instead of you fast on Ekadashi, is it? Oh my Lord, that is too much. Yeah. Once my spiritual master was saying, if you do Nirjal, imagine you go to the Prasadam hall, everybody is eating this Savdana Vada. Huh? Isn't it? All are eating Savdana Vada and I am Nirjal. Mind may say that. When you go to look at the deity, the Lord's cheeks are appearing like Savdana Vada. Huh. So that means everywhere you are seeing, better eat it. Because allowed. Ekadashi day. Then better eat some the 4 or 5 Savdana Vadas and sit and chant the holy name after that. Instead of fasting and dreaming, it is better that you feast and chant. No? Isn't it? Yeah? Oh, yes. Give the mic to them. Yeah. Yes, last question. You have to go there, yeah. It's getting late for me. Yeah, I have to go to one more program. Yes. Yes, probably tell me.
Uh, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
As it said, ki, like there are few conditions where if we choose some easy steps, initially they look sweet, but eventually they are poison and bitter.
Correct. Yes.
And these things are temporary. How long could this temporary phase could last?
Yeah.
And sometimes it feels that this temporary phase is lasting a little long. So how to deal with that? Like
Yeah.
mind says it is temporary, since like I personally believe in karma. So my mind saying it will eventually result in bad if someone is doing bad, but it does not seems like it is going bad.
See, one thing is, a pig in the ditch, he is not uncomfortable. Correct, no? He is eating stool. He is living in the nasty gutter water. Who can understand his suffering? Only somebody who is not in the ditch, who is outside watching it. They may think, oh, poor pig, it's living such a horrible condition of life. I was in the Pune station. I saw in the railway line below, there was a rat running around in the railway line below, trying to get some eatable. And there's a lot of gutter type of dirty waters are there. And his body is also getting dirty in the water. You feel pity for these creatures. You can see that kind of lifestyle. Similarly, dogs in the street, you see how they live. So, and they cannot understand their suffering because they are in those gunas. Somebody in Tamaguna is thinking Tamaguna is wonderful. Correct, no? Because Tamaguna is matching. Huh? But somebody in Rajoguna or Satoguna can see that Tamaguna person is suffering. In the same manner, you take a IT boy who's working 16 hours a day, he's burning out his body. And then you say, hey, why are you working so hard? You're suffering. He says, hey, I am feeling thrill. I am feeling excitement. And he will feel excitement until he gets a massive heart attack one day. Suddenly doctor says that, thrilling is not so good for you. In the name of thrilling, you are too much slogging. Your cholesterol is very high. Correct, no? People have nowadays increased cholesterol due to junk food, and doctor says you have to take to a diet. Of course, then they will be forced to change. Then they go for weight loss program and low cholesterol eating and all that. They do that. But the idea is when a person is in passion, he thinks life is very wonderful. So the more you go to sattva, then the limitations of rajas and tamas will be observable by you. For example, Prabhupada is saying here a boy is attracted to girl and they're connecting in the college and outside world we see that. When they're connecting, they feel they are enjoying. Correct, no? But then both their parents are going to oppose very soon. And when they're separated, are they enjoying anymore? It's very painful. Some families will even, they're very, very heavy. Some like Maratha caste and all, they're very strict. They want to marry the boy to the same girl in the same caste. Otherwise, they'll finish the family. Huh? So they're very, very strict. In some castes, they're very strict. So when the boy and girl who are connected, connecting time, they feel the joy. Now when they are separated and forced to marry someone else, that's the most miserable part of their life. Is it not true? But they can't see that consequence now. But you can see. If you are in sattva, you can see that these guys are doing this wrong thing. Eventually, they are going to suffer. You are like a helicopter. In sattva, you are like a helicopter. You can see this fellow is coming here. Here, there's a ditch. Is going to fall. But somebody is driving very madly. He can't see there's a ditch. So intelligence means what? To hear the great souls and firmly put faith in their words and then walk the right path. Even though according to us, the road ahead is not clear for us, we may not know. But somebody in a helicopter tells you that if you go another 5 minutes, there's a big ditch. The whole road is leading down. Be careful. Don't go in that way. Then we take another route. So the consequences are already told in the scriptures. We have to hear the consequences and you can observe in the life of others. For example, if somebody feels, we say it's temporary, but the temporary is also long enough. You feel that, then look at the lives of others. See, in my college days, Sunil Gavaskar was number one hero. Now at the time Sachin and all were not there. Now Kohli or Sachin Tendulkar, they're very famous now. But as the years progress, down the line, 10, 20, 30, 40 years, all the best batters and cricketers and bowlers, they simply become commentators. Correct, no? Correct, no? They'll be reading commentary. They'll be giving. Yeah, I know if you see Sunil Gavaskar's videos, he was just like Sachin in those days. He was like, nobody could beat him. Huh? He was like unbeatable, very famous. But now he's very old now. So same with cinema actors, actresses, correct, no? If you see Amitabh, when he was young, how he was acting. Now you see, now he's taking some grandfather roles or something. Correct, no? You will see eventually they'll be out of the scene. All the heroes, as the years pass, they'll be out of the scene, except Krishna. Krishna is the Nayakanam Shiro Ratnam, Krishnasta Bhagavan Swayam. Even in the Battle of Kurukshetra, he was 125 years old. He looked like a 16-year-old boy. Because he never gets old, never gets diseased, never dies. He's like a sun rising in the east and setting in the west. Again, he will rise in another universe. So we want to stick to a hero who is imperishable hero. We want to stick to. Therefore, after getting Krishna in our lives, we understood that all other heroes are zeros. In this material, they're like Jugunu. Jugunu can only show off in the night time. When the sun comes in front of the sun, Jugunu has no power. Krishna is like sun. Krishna Surya Sama, Maya hai andhaka, Yaha Krishna taha nahi. So, one thing is the Shastras, if you keep reading them, see, read Shastra and observe the word. Shastra Chakshu. Again read, again observe. And if you are able to learn, you are a smart fellow. Some people will say, no, Prabhuji, I want to undergo it. Okay, undergo and learn. Experience. Like somebody will tell him, hey, if you jump from a, 4-story building, you will break your leg. You hear it and you learn it. Some people want to watch somebody jumping. Hey, Prabhuji, what you said is correct. He jumped and he broke his leg. Now I will not jump. Because they have seen it. Then there are people who will go up themselves and then they will jump. And then they break the leg. Prabhuji, you correctly said that. Then they are admitted in the hospital. And there are fellows, even after coming out of hospital, again he'll go to jump. You ask, hey, what happened? Prabhuji, I think I jumped from this side. I'll jump from another angle. So all kinds of people are there, correct, no? So you can decide in which category we want to be. We can be hear and learn, or see and learn, or do and learn, or don't learn and keep getting cakes. That's called Laton ka bhut. So we all have our choices. Ultimately, life is your choice. Okay. Regulating eating, sleeping, work, regulation helps to control mind, but not able to do this consistently. This makes us lose hope. How we can keep desire, put regular efforts to achieve this? It's difficult. Why? Because we are repeatedly falling prey to Rajoguna and Tamaguna. That's a problem. I am telling you again and again, start from sleeping early, 9:30. And you will see your whole life will get better. 9:30 if you sleep, get up at 3:30. Do some little chanting or reading before Mangalarati and see your life will take a big turn. You will see that. And then in centers we stay, cooking happens twice a day. Morning 7:30 and evening 4:30. 80% devotees take evening prasadam after 6:30 and some devotees take even after 9 p.m. due to office. By this time it's more than 4 hours after cooking. What can be done, Prabhu? Yeah. Prabhupada says prasadam, even if it is 3 hours or 4 hours late, it's not a problem. Prasadam is transcendental. Prabhupada says that. Still, if the prasadam is cooked at 4:30, if devotees are going to eat at 6:30 only, the cook can start a little late. He can make it ready by 6 instead of keeping it ready at 4:30. If 4:30 nobody is going to eat, why to make it ready so early? Correct, no? Then he can make it ready by 6. Then devotees take at 6:30. And some devotees take at 9. So 6 to 9, it's only 3 hours. That will be a better idea, I think. Yeah. You can try to, actually, my Prasad, my assistant cooks, as soon as he cooks and offers, immediately, it's smoky hot I take. It's very good habit to immediately take Prasad when it is cooked fresh, hot and nicely served. So I also showed you the PowerPoint on 4 aspects of regulation. What are they? Eating, sleeping, recreation, and work. So Diktahar. So who can hear the holy name or holy fame with rapt attention? So pure in mind. Who is pure in mind? Who is pure in action? Pure in these habits of eating, sleeping, mating, and fearing, it says. So that we learned in that regulation PPT. Because regulation is like a switch of a fan, I told you. Otherwise, mind is very difficult to control. Mind is, if you conquer the mind, you conquer the whole world. But for conquering the mind, there is a shortcut, which is regulation, regulated lifestyle. Which if you, and it's not just one day, daily, day after day, month after month, year after year, you keep doing. That regulated lifestyle of discipline brings you to a stable mindset and controlled mind, calm mind. So this lecture, what I am giving, is a continuation of what I spoke in the morning today. Correct, no? Morning I spoke one stop formula. Remember that anybody? Yes, what? P. Balance. WS. Yeah, correct. So that was also about, because the problems are in the mind and we want to calm the mind. So those things which I spoke in the morning, that was a more simpler lecture. Now I gave more examples in this. Thank you, Shri Prabhupada ki. Actually, our